Now let's go to the practical lab 3, the dial plan. So let's see. Let me open the console. Right. Let me move the extensions .conf to extensions.conf.back. Come back up. And now let's use nano extensions.conf. Great. This is our dial plan. It's completely empty. Okay, so now let's move here and start this. Okay, so let's start with step one. Let's configure this and let's see if we can dial between phones first. Great. So let's see. Done. Oh, sorry. Great. Asterisk dash R. Dial plan reload. Okay, so now let's see if I can call from my phone to E2. So 6001 is E2. No route to destination. Let me see something. BJ SEP show endpoints. E2 is unavailable. Oh, okay. It's funny. And register. Register. It's running. It's now working. Windows 6001. Okay, answer. Okay, working. So the first part of the lab, it's now working. Now that we have dialed between phones, let's dial to the public network. So I will copy this line. Let me go to here. Okay. So we have this line. The first one is 6000 and 6001. We are just dialing the endpoint E1 or E2. Now we have extension 9, comma 1, comma dial PJ-SIP. This is a slightly different format. We are dialing the extension, removing the 9 at the trunk SIP. So let's save this. Let's save. Great. Asterisk dash R. PJ-SIP reload. Now let's try to call.
Gateway 1, US. I'm not sure who will take this call.
Hello, caller.
Okay, so when we dial to our server will answer with a funny message. It will select between 5 different messages randomly, and then you now know that your SIP trunk it's working correctly. It's working fine. Now we're going to receive calls, right? So we have these lines here. Let me do just a small change here. I'm using operator E2, but as E2 is the mobile, I prefer E1. It's more certain. So okay, let me copy this and add to the extensions.conf. So okay, nanoextensions.conf. So now we are going to copy this And here we have from SIP trunk in the extension 9999. Why from SIP trunk and why 9999? So if you remember, in the pjsip.conf, we have a definition of the trunk SIP in the context from SIP trunk. The address of record is my server. Authentication is outbound authentication only. Inbound, there's no inbound authentication in this case. But as there's no inbound authentication, I'm using this trunk identify. So anything coming from sip.flagonc.com should go to the endpoint trunk SIP. So whatever is coming from this address will go to the endpoint trunk SIP, and it will use the context from SIP trunk. And in the registration, I have this contact user equals 9999. This means anything arriving with this registration, it will be sent to the extension 999 because we have set the contact as being 999. So X, let me do asterisk -R pjsip reload. Now, if you look at the instructions, we should go to this website, sip.flagonc.com. I have created here a click to call. It's a way to generate an incoming call. And here I'm using 1010. You can do this lab using 1010 or 1011, 1012, up to 1020. Sometimes it's useful to do in a different number than 1010 because you can have many users registering at the same time. So sometimes it's, let's call this lesson test. It's just an ID, right? And let me go back here. I will do something like pjsip set logger on. I want to see SIP packets. For set verbose 15, I want to see the logs. So let me do a call me now, and let's see if we receive the call. Now I'm receiving the call. So let me open here, and I will answer, and I'll hear the monkeys. Sometimes you may have to restart the server a few times before you receive, mainly if you're using 1010, because you may have other users overwriting the registration on the server. So if 1010 is not working, change your pjsip file and try 1011, 1012, or 1013. You have probably a better chance.